Did you know the American South witnessed the greatest political and military breakdown in U.S. history? A civil war so destructive it nearly erased the nation itself and permanently altered its future? This region has endured some of the most powerful hurricanes, deadliest tornadoes, and most violent storms ever recorded, strong enough to level cities in just hours. Beneath its swamps, coastlines, and river deltas lies one of the most ancient and extreme ecosystems in the Western Hemisphere, home to rare species, dangerous wildlife, and biodiversity that scientists consider irreplaceable. The South is far more than comfort food, accents, and summer heat. It is a land shaped by conflict, survival, resilience, and raw natural force. Prepare yourself, because today you'll uncover 50 wild and unbelievable facts about the American South that reveal why this region remains one of the most powerful, complex, and influential places in the United States. 50. The hidden abyss of West Virginia. One little-known fact about West Virginia is that it is home to one of the deepest and most scientifically significant caves in the United States, Hellhole Cave. This extraordinary underground system plunges approximately 737 feet, 225 meters, below the surface, ranking it among the deepest caves in the country. Yet its importance extends far beyond its depth. Hellhole Cave is a critical ecological refuge, sheltering nearly 45% of the world's population of the Virginia big-eared bat, a rare and federally protected species. Because of its immense ecological significance, access to the cave is strictly controlled and limited to authorized scientists and highly experienced spelunkers. The cave also functions as a natural laboratory, supporting advanced research into subterranean biodiversity, climate patterns, and long-term species conservation. This hidden natural wonder places West Virginia at the forefront of environmental research, far removed from typical tourist destinations. 49. The subterranean Florida aquifer. Beneath Florida's sandy surface lies one of the most productive aquifer systems in the world, the Florida Aquifer. This vast underground reservoir spans nearly 100,000 square miles, extending beneath the entire state and into parts of Georgia, Alabama, and South Carolina. The aquifer is made primarily of thick layers of carbonate rock, such as limestone and dolomite, that function like a massive natural sponge. Over millions of years, slightly acidic rainwater slowly dissolved the limestone, forming an extensive network of underwater caves, tunnels, and conduits. This unique geological structure explains why Florida has more first-magnitude springs than anywhere else on Earth. These springs release millions of gallons of crystal-clear water every day, sustaining the state's complex river systems and providing critical habitat for manatees and countless other aquatic species. 48. The isolated eastern shore of Virginia. Virginia is home to a distinctive geographic region known as the Eastern Shore, a 70-mile-long peninsula separated from the rest of the state by the Chesapeake Bay. This landmass forms the southern tip of the Delmarva Peninsula, which Virginia shares with Maryland and Delaware. For much of its history, the Eastern Shore was physically isolated from mainland Virginia and could be reached only by boat. That isolation ended in 1964 with the completion of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, a 17-mile engineering marvel linking the peninsula to the Virginia Beach region. The Eastern Shore is defined by flat coastal plains, vast salt marshes, and a chain of largely uninhabited barrier islands that shield the mainland from the Atlantic Ocean. Today, it remains one of the last extensive coastal wilderness areas on the Atlantic seaboard, preserving a landscape that has changed very little over centuries. 47. The massive dimensions of Texas. The sheer size of Texas is a geographic reality that's difficult to grasp without comparison. Covering more than 268,000 square miles, Texas is larger than any single country in the European Union. If it were an independent nation, it would rank as the 40th largest country in the world. To understand its scale, consider this. Driving from the eastern border at Orange, Texas, to the western city of El Paso covers more than 800 miles, a greater distance than traveling from New York City to Jacksonville, Florida. Within this vast territory lies remarkable geographic diversity, from the pine forests of East Texas and the subtropical Rio Grande Valley, to the rolling Central Plains and the high, arid peaks of the Guadalupe Mountains in the far west. 46. The endless depths of Mammoth Cave. Kentucky is home to Mammoth Cave National Park, the longest known cave system in the world. Located in the state's central region, This vast subterranean labyrinth currently contains over 400 miles of surveyed passageways, with explorers uncovering new sections each year. The cave's geography is a textbook example of karst topography, where the landscape forms through the dissolution of soluble rocks. A thick layer of sandstone acts as a protective cap over the underlying limestone, preventing collapses and preserving the cave's ancient geological features. Mammoth Cave is so enormous that it contains underground rivers, massive chambers the size of stadiums, and rare mineral formations such as gypsum flowers. Its stable environment also supports unique wildlife, including blind fish and cave-dwelling insects found nowhere else on Earth. This natural wonder is a testament to the incredible hidden landscapes beneath the surface of the United States. 45. The neighborly borders of Tennessee. Tennessee holds a unique geographic distinction in the United States. It shares its borders with 8 different states, tied with Missouri for the most neighboring states in the nation. To the north, Tennessee meets Kentucky and Virginia. To the east lies North Carolina. To the south are Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. And to the west, the Mississippi River separates it from Arkansas and Missouri. This central location has historically made Tennessee a key crossroads for transportation, trade, and cultural exchange. The state stretches roughly 440 miles from the Great Smoky Mountains in the east to the alluvial plains of the Mississippi River in the west, encompassing 3 distinct geographic regions, symbolically represented by the 3 stars on the state flag. 44. The modest heights of Driscoll Mountain. Louisiana is famous for its low-lying swamps and bayous, but it does have a highest point, albeit a modest one. Driscoll Mountain, located in the northern parish of Bienville, rises just 535 feet above sea level, making it the 3rd lowest state high point in the United States, higher only than those of Florida and Delaware. Despite its name, Driscoll Mountain is geologically classified as a landform formed by the erosion of Paleogene sediments. Its summit is part of the rolling hill country of northern Louisiana, a stark contrast to the flat coastal marshes of the south. While it may not boast the dramatic peaks of the Appalachian Mountains, Driscoll Mountain serves as an important geographic landmark, highlighting the subtle topographic diversity in a state largely defined by its proximity to sea level. 43. The growing delta of the Mississippi. Southern Louisiana is defined by the Mississippi River Delta, a massive bird-foot-shaped landform constantly reshaped by natural forces. As the river flows toward the Gulf of Mexico, it carries enormous amounts of sediment from across the continent. When the river slows upon reaching the Gulf, this sediment settles, gradually building new land over thousands of years. This ongoing process has created an extensive network of marshes, wetlands, and bayous, which act as a vital natural buffer against storm surges. Yet today, the delta faces a serious crisis. Levees prevent the river from flooding and depositing new silt, while rising sea levels accelerate erosion. As a result, Louisiana is losing coastal land at a staggering rate, roughly 1 football field every hour. 42. The continuous sands of the Grand Strand. South Carolina is home to a stunning geographic feature known as the Grand Strand, a continuous 60-mile stretch of beach along the Atlantic Ocean. Extending from the North Carolina border down to Winyaw Bay, this crescent-shaped coastline is one of the longest uninterrupted beaches on the East Coast. The Grand Strand's geography is defined by its wide sandy shores and gentle slopes, formed over thousands of years through oceanic sediment deposition. Unlike the rocky coastlines of the northern U.S., this region is part of the Atlantic coastal plain, characterized by low relief and sandy soils. This geographic consistency has made the area a hub for coastal development, though it remains vulnerable to shifting sands and coastal erosion, especially during powerful Atlantic hurricanes. 41. The migrating islands of the Outer Banks. North Carolina is home to one of the most dynamic geographic features in the world, the Outer Banks, a 200-mile-long chain of barrier islands that separates the Atlantic Ocean from the Currituck, Albemarle, and Pamlico Sounds. These islands are far from static. Composed almost entirely of sand, they are constantly migrating westward toward the mainland, driven by the relentless forces of waves, wind, and tides, especially during major storms. Over time, ocean overwash carries sand from the ocean side to the sound side, effectively causing the islands to roll over themselves. The Outer Banks geography is further complicated by the infamous graveyard of the Atlantic, where the warm Gulf Stream meets the cold Labrador Current. creating treacherous shoals and unpredictable weather patterns that have claimed thousands of ships throughout history. 40. The ancient soil of the Black Belt. Alabama is home to a unique geographic and geological region known as the Black Belt, famous for its exceptionally dark and fertile soil. This crescent-shaped region stretches across central Alabama and into Mississippi. The origin of this soil dates back to the Cretaceous period, around 80 million years ago, when the area was the shoreline of a shallow tropical sea. Tiny marine organisms settled on the seafloor, forming a thick layer of white chalk. As the sea receded over time, this chalk weathered into a nutrient-rich black clay, sharply contrasting with the red clay found elsewhere in the state. This distinctive geography shaped the South's agricultural history, as the fertile Black Belt became the ideal region for large-scale cotton production, profoundly influencing the economy and culture of the region. 39. The public diamonds of Arkansas. Arkansas is the only place in North America where the general public can legally search for diamonds at their original volcanic source. Crater of Diamonds State Park, located in Murfreesboro, sits atop an eroded volcanic pipe called a lamproite pipe. Around 95 million years ago, a massive volcanic eruption brought diamonds from deep within the Earth's mantle to the surface. Over time, the volcanic vent weathered into a 37-acre field of greenish-brown soil, where diamonds and other gemstones continue to appear. Since opening as a state park in 1972, visitors have discovered more than 35,000 diamonds. This rare geological site provides a direct glimpse into the deep tectonic forces that shaped the southern United States and offers a unique opportunity to connect with the region's extraordinary natural history. 38. The ecological diversity of Oklahoma. Oklahoma is often thought of as a flat, uniform prairie, but it is actually one of the most geographically diverse states in the U.S., containing 12 distinct ecoregions, a number exceeded by only 3 other states. The state's geography shifts dramatically from the lush, forested Ozark Plateau and Wapiti Mountains in the east to the arid high plains of the Panhandle in the west. Between these extremes lie ancient granite formations such as the Arbuckle and Wichita Mountains, some of the oldest geological features in the central United States. This remarkable diversity arises from Oklahoma's position at the intersection of several major climate zones and geological provinces. Within just a few hundred miles, the landscape can transition from cypress swamps and pine forests to shortgrass prairies and salt flats, creating a complex and varied physical environment unlike almost anywhere else in the country. 37. The Fall Line of Georgia. A key geographic feature of Georgia is the Fall Line, a geological boundary that separates the hilly Piedmont region from the flat coastal plain. This line marks the ancient shoreline of the Atlantic Ocean from millions of years ago. As rivers descend from the harder rocks of the Piedmont onto the softer sediments of the coastal plain, they form a series of waterfalls and rapids. This natural drop prevented early explorers from navigating further inland by boat, leading to the establishment of major cities such as Augusta, Milledgeville, Macon, and Columbus along the line. The Fall Line also creates distinct differences in soil and vegetation. North of the line, the land is dominated by red clay and hardwood forests, while to the south, sandy soils and pine barrens prevail, highlighting the stark geographic contrast within the state. 36. The temperate rainforest of South Carolina. In the northwestern corner of South Carolina lies the Jocassee Gorges, a geographic region that National Geographic once named one of the 50 last great places on Earth. This area is unique as a temperate rainforest, receiving some of the highest rainfall in the continental U.S. outside the Pacific Northwest. The steep slopes of the Blue Ridge Escarpment force moist air from the Gulf of Mexico upward, producing over 75 inches of rain annually. This abundant moisture supports a lush landscape filled with rare plants and the highest concentration of waterfalls in the eastern United States. The gorge's geography creates a protected microclimate, where species like the rare Eoe bellflower have survived since the last ice age. Today, the Jocassee Gorges stand as a vital biological and geological sanctuary, preserving some of the East Coast's most extraordinary natural diversity. 35. The Sovereign Peak of North Carolina. Mount Mitchell, located in the Black Mountains of western North Carolina, is the highest point in the United States east of the Mississippi River, standing at 6,684 feet. Part of the Appalachian Range, one of the oldest mountain systems on Earth, Mount Mitchell's geography creates a climate and ecosystem more similar to southeastern Canada than the surrounding southern states. The summit is blanketed in a dense forest of Fraser fir and red spruce, relics of the Ice Age that survive only at these high elevations. This isolated alpine environment forms a striking contrast with the humid subtropical valleys just a few miles below, showcasing the extreme topographic variation found in the North Carolina mountains. 34. The phosphorus legacy of Kentucky bluegrass. The famous bluegrass region of central Kentucky owes its name, and its legendary horse industry, to a unique geologic and geographic phenomenon. The region sits atop massive deposits of Ordovician limestone, exceptionally rich in phosphorus. As this ancient limestone weathers, it creates fertile soil high in calcium and phosphorus. The grass that grows here, known as Kentucky bluegrass, absorbs these minerals and passes them on to the horses that graze upon it. This natural geographic advantage is a major reason the region became the horse capital of the world, as the mineral-rich diet helps develop stronger bones and greater stamina in thoroughbreds. The bluegrass geography is also defined by gently rolling hills and a scarcity of surface streams, as much of the water flows through underground limestone channels, creating a landscape perfectly suited for pasture and equine breeding. 33. The stalactite organ of Luray Caverns. Virginia is home to a remarkable geographic wonder that also doubles as the largest musical instrument on Earth. Deep within the Luray Caverns, the great stalactite organ produces music by striking ancient stone formations with rubber-tipped mallets. The cave itself is essentially a massive cathedral carved from limestone over millions of years through acidic water seepage. This system formed within the Beekmantown dolomite, creating vast chambers that provide ideal acoustics for this extraordinary instrument. Spanning 3.5 acres, specific stalactites were carefully selected for their musical pitch. This subterranean masterpiece demonstrates how the geology of the Shenandoah Valley can be harnessed to create art. Constant temperature and humidity inside the cave ensure that the limestone pipes never go out of tune, making it a unique blend of natural wonder and human creativity. 32. The ancient Wamka impact crater. About 85 million years ago, a massive cosmic event forever reshaped the geography of central Alabama. A meteor roughly 1,000 feet wide slammed into a shallow sea that once covered the region, forming the Wamka impact crater. Today, it is considered one of the best-preserved marine impact craters on Earth. The area's geography is defined by a ring of hills rising above the surrounding flat coastal plain. These hills form the crater's rim, composed of shattered crystalline rock thrust upward by the enormous force of the impact. Geologists have also discovered shocked quartz and other impact-related minerals, confirming the crater's extraterrestrial origin. Spanning roughly 5 miles across, the Wamka crater is a dramatic reminder of the violent geological forces that have shaped the southern United States over millions of years. 31. The massive Enchanted Rock. In the heart of the Texas Hill Country, a massive dome of pink granite rises dramatically from the surrounding landscape. Known as Enchanted Rock, this geographic feature is a pluton, an igneous rock formation that cooled deep underground and was later exposed through millions of years of erosion. The visible dome is only the tip of a much larger formation, which spans roughly 62 square miles underground. Enchanted Rock's geography is shaped by a process called exfoliation, where the outer layers of granite peel away like an onion due to temperature changes, giving the rock its smooth, rounded appearance that contrasts sharply with the nearby limestone terrain. Legend and geology intersect here. The rock is said to groan at night, a sound caused by the cooling granite contracting after a hot day, blending natural wonder with mystery in the Texas landscape. 30. The wind-blown lush bluffs of Natchez. The geography of western Mississippi is defined by the remarkable lush bluffs overlooking the Mississippi River. These towering cliffs are made of loess, a fine-grained, wind-blown silt deposited during the last ice age. As glaciers to the north ground rocks into dust, winds carried this material south, forming thick layers along the eastern edge of the river valley. In some areas, the bluffs rise over 200 feet high. While the soil is extremely stable when undisturbed, it is highly susceptible to vertical erosion, creating steep-walled ravines and unique topographic features. This natural barrier influenced the placement of the historic city of Natchez, which sits atop the bluffs to avoid frequent flooding. The Luss Bluffs are a frozen record of prehistoric winds, preserving a striking geological story of Mississippi's Ice Age past. 29. The ancient waters of hot springs. The geography of central Arkansas conceals a remarkable geothermal anomaly that has fascinated humans for thousands of years. Within Hot Springs National Park, 47 thermal springs flow from the base of Hot Springs Mountain. Unlike the geysers of the western U.S., which are heated by volcanic activity, these waters are warmed by the natural geothermal gradient of the Earth's crust. Rainwater falls on the surrounding ridges and slowly percolates through fractured rocks to depths of several thousand feet. As it descends, the water absorbs heat and minerals before returning to the surface through a major fault line. This entire journey takes roughly 4,000 years, meaning the water emerging today first fell as rain during ancient civilizations. The geography of the Ouachita Mountains acts as a vast natural plumbing system, delivering nearly 1 million gallons of hot water every day, sustaining both the landscape and human curiosity. 28. The shallow depths of Lake Okeechobee. Florida is home to the largest freshwater lake in the southern United States, Lake Okeechobee, often called the Inland Sea. Covering 730 square miles, the lake's most surprising feature is its extreme shallowness. Despite its vast size, the average depth is only about 9 feet. This unique geography makes Lake Okeechobee highly sensitive to weather patterns and nutrient runoff. It sits in a shallow limestone basin that was once part of the ocean floor. Historically, the lake had no defined southern shore. During the wet season, it would simply overflow, sending a slow-moving sheet of water southward that formed the Everglades. Today, a vast system of levees controls water levels, fundamentally altering the natural flow that once defined the geography of the Florida Peninsula. Yet the lake remains a vital feature of the region's landscape. 27. The mysterious Great Dismal Swamp. The Great Dismal Swamp, straddling the border between North Carolina and Virginia, is one of the last large wild areas in the eastern United States. This vast wetland is dominated by thick layers of peat, partially decomposed organic matter that has built up over thousands of years in the waterlogged environment. Unlike most swamps, the Great Dismal is not a low-lying basin. It sits on a gently sloping hillside. At its center lies Lake Drummond, a nearly perfect circular lake and one of only 2 natural lakes in Virginia. The swamp's dark waters result from high concentrations of tannic acid leached from surrounding juniper and cypress trees. This acidic, waterlogged environment has preserved the swamp's unique geography for centuries, making it a vital refuge for biodiversity and a home for historic communities, offering a rare glimpse into the ancient landscapes of the eastern United States. 26. The earthquake-born Reelfoot Lake. The geography of northwestern Tennessee was forever transformed in the winter of 1811 by a series of massive earthquakes along the New Madrid Fault. These tremors were so powerful that they reportedly caused the Mississippi River to flow backward for several hours. The seismic activity created a huge depression in the land, which quickly filled with water from the river, forming Reelfoot Lake. The lake is essentially a drowned forest, with the stumps of ancient cypress trees still visible, preserved beneath the water. This dramatic geographic event produced a unique ecosystem of shallow wetlands and open water, now a critical habitat for bald eagles and migratory waterfowl. Unlike lakes formed slowly by glacial processes, Reelfoot Lake is a striking example of how sudden tectonic forces can instantly reshape the southern landscape. 25. Maryland, the birthplace of an unusual state sport. A little-known fact about Maryland is that it is the only U.S. state whose official state sport is jousting, the medieval tournament competition involving knights, lances, and horseback skill. While most states chose modern sports like baseball or football, Maryland embraced this centuries-old tradition in 1962, officially recognizing jousting as part of its cultural heritage. The designation isn't purely symbolic. Jousting tournaments still take place across the state, especially at Renaissance fairs and county festivals, following rules inspired by medieval Europe. Maryland's dedication to jousting reflects its strong ties to historical reenactment and colonial-era traditions, setting it apart from every other state in the nation. This surprising fact highlights how Maryland preserves unique and unexpected aspects of history, blending the past into modern cultural life. 24. The trembling earth of the Okefenokee. The Okefenokee Swamp in southern Georgia is a geographic marvel, often called the land of the trembling earth. Covering over 400,000 acres, it is one of the largest intact freshwater ecosystems in the world. The swamp's geography is defined by vast prairies, dark water channels, and floating islands of vegetation. These islands, known as batteries, are thick mats of peat that have detached from the swamp floor and floated to the surface. When stepped on, the ground literally bounces and shakes, giving the swamp its indigenous name. The water of the Okefenokee is remarkably pure, but dark as coffee due to tannins from decaying leaves. The swamp also serves as the headwaters for both the St. Mary's River and the Suwannee River, which flow in opposite directions, making it a vital geographic and ecological feature of the southern landscape. 23. The rare crystals of the Salt Plains. In northern Oklahoma, a unique geographic feature known as the Great Salt Plains stretches across roughly 11,000 acres of flat, white salt crust. This salt is the remnant of an ancient sea that covered the region during the Permian period. Today, salty groundwater rises to the surface and evaporates, leaving behind a shimmering salt desert. The plains are world famous as the only place on Earth where hourglass selenite crystals naturally form. These rare gypsum crystals develop just beneath the salt surface and contain a distinctive sand-filled hourglass shape inside. The geography of the Great Salt Plains is so flat and reflective that it was once used by the military for target practice. Today, it serves as a vital stopover for migratory shorebirds, whose survival depends on this unique salty environment, making it both a geological and ecological treasure. 22. The Salt Dome Foundation of Avery Island. Louisiana is known for its flat marshes, but Avery Island stands out as a striking geographic exception. Despite its name, it is not a true island, but a salt dome rising above surrounding bayous and wetlands. This dome formed when a massive column of solid salt pushed upward through the Earth's crust from an ancient seabed miles below. The salt deposit beneath Avery Island is estimated to extend at least 8 miles into the Earth, deeper than the height of Mount Everest. The island's geography creates a unique microclimate, producing fertile soil that supports lush botanical gardens and the famous peppers used in spicy sauces. Avery Island is part of a series of 5 salt domes that rise like hills across Louisiana's coastal landscape, providing rare elevation in an otherwise low-lying state. 21. The elliptical mystery of the Carolina Bays. Across the Atlantic coastal plain of South Carolina, thousands of mysterious geographic depressions known as Carolina Bays dot the landscape. These elliptical formations all share a similar northwest to southeast orientation and vary in size from a few acres to several thousand. Many are filled with bog-like vegetation or shallow water, creating isolated wetland ecosystems. The origin of the Carolina Bays remains a scientific mystery, with theories ranging from ancient wind patterns to catastrophic meteor impacts thousands of years ago. Regardless of their origin, these depressions provide critical habitats for rare species, including the Venus flytrap, often hidden beneath dense forests or drained for agriculture. Many people drive past these ancient landforms without realizing they are crossing one of the most unique and unexplained geographic features in the eastern United States. 20. The Sandstone Arches of Red River Gorge. Eastern Kentucky is home to one of the world's most concentrated collections of natural stone arches. The Red River Gorge is a deeply dissected canyon system, featuring spectacular sandstone cliffs and over 100 natural bridges. This dramatic landscape was shaped over millions of years by the erosive power of water and wind acting on soft Corbin sandstone. The Red River and its tributaries carved through the rock, while natural weathering removed weaker sections, leaving behind massive sandstone arches. The most famous, Skybridge, spans a breathtaking vista of the surrounding Daniel Boone National Forest. The gorge's rugged and complex geography also provides a refuge for diverse plant and animal life, making it a premier destination for anyone seeking the dramatic, ancient topography of the Appalachian Mountains. 19. The Great Grand Canyon of Texas. While Arizona's Grand Canyon is the most famous, the southern U.S. is home to the second-largest canyon in the country, Palo Duro Canyon in the Texas Panhandle. Stretching roughly 120 miles and reaching depths of over 800 feet, this canyon is a stunning display of colorful geological layers, including red clay and white gypsum, deposited by ancient rivers and seas over 250 million years ago. The Prairie Dogtown Fork of the Red River continues to carve through the Caprock Escarpment, gradually expanding the canyon even today. One of its most iconic features is the lighthouse, a towering hoodoo that rises dramatically from the canyon floor. Palo Duro Canyon's rugged geography provides a striking contrast to the flat, treeless plains surrounding it, revealing the hidden depths and geological history of Texas in a way few landscapes can. 18. The hidden gem of the Channels State Forest. High on the slopes of Middle Knob in southwestern Virginia lies a geographic secret known as the Channels. This ancient landform is a labyrinth of deep, narrow crevices carved into a massive sandstone outcropping. The channels were formed during the last ice age through paraglacial weathering. Water seeped into cracks in the rock, froze, and expanded, gradually pushing massive blocks apart over thousands of years. The result is a maze of towering stone walls, often just a few feet wide, but rising 30 feet or more. The unique geography creates a natural refrigeration effect, keeping the air inside the channels significantly cooler than the surrounding forest, even in the heat of summer. Part of a state forest, this rare geological feature offers a truly unique hiking experience in the Appalachian Range, blending natural history with dramatic scenery. 17. The Amazon of North America in Alabama. Southern Alabama is home to the mobile Tensaw River Delta, a vast wetland system often called the Amazon of North America. Formed by the confluence of the Alabama and Tombigbee rivers as they flow into Mobile Bay, the delta spans over 260,000 acres, making it the second largest river delta in the contiguous United States. The region's geography is a complex network of rivers, creeks, bayous, and lakes, interspersed with cypress gum swamps and bottomland hardwood forests. What makes this delta extraordinary is its staggering biodiversity. It contains more species of mussels and snails than almost anywhere else on the planet. This watery wilderness serves as a vital nursery for the Gulf of Mexico, filtering water and providing a rich habitat for everything from alligators to rare migratory birds. The mobile Tensaw Delta is a living, interconnected landscape, showcasing the raw ecological power of the southern United States. 16. The Balcones Escarpment of Texas. Texas is bisected by a major geological feature known as the Balcones Escarpment. This curving fault line stretches from Del Rio in the southwest through San Antonio and Austin, marking the boundary between the low coastal plains to the east and the rugged Edwards Plateau to the west. Millions of years ago, a massive shift in the Earth's crust caused the western side to rise while the eastern side dropped, creating a dramatic transition where flat prairies abruptly give way to steep hills and deep canyons. The escarpment also functions as a major drainage divide, giving rise to numerous springs along its base. These springs provide vital water sources for some of the fastest-growing cities in the United States, shaping the geography, ecology, and development of Central Texas. 15. The massive dunes of Jockey's Ridge. In the heart of the Outer Banks of North Carolina, the landscape transforms into a scene reminiscent of the Sahara Desert. Jockey's Ridge State Park is home to the tallest natural sand dune system in the eastern United States. The geography of these dunes is constantly shifting, sculpted by powerful Atlantic winds sweeping across the barrier islands. Unlike most dunes stabilized by vegetation, Jockey's Ridge remains active and mobile, migrating several feet each year. Over thousands of years, wind-blown sediment from the shoreline accumulated to form this massive pile of sand, with peaks reaching nearly 100 feet. This unique landscape not only offers breathtaking vistas of both the Atlantic Ocean and Pamlico Sound, but it also provides an ideal environment for hang gliding and other adventurous outdoor activities, making it one of the most remarkable geographic features on the U.S. East Coast. 14. The land between the lakes. In western Kentucky and Tennessee, a unique inland peninsula known as the land between the lakes stretches across the southern interior. This geographic anomaly was created by the construction of two massive dams on the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers, which formed Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake, two of the largest man-made lakes in the world. Nestled between these waters are over 170,000 acres of forested hills and valleys, once home to settled communities but now protected as a national recreation area. Surrounded on three sides by water, the region has an island-like environment in the heart of the southern landscape. The area's geography also supports an elk and bison prairie, recreating the native grassland ecosystems that existed before European settlement, while serving as a vital corridor for migratory birds along the Mississippi Flyway. 13. The living coral reef of Florida. Florida is home to a geographic treasure unique in the continental United States, the only living coral barrier reef in North America. Stretching nearly 350 miles from the dry Tortugas in the Gulf of Mexico to the St. Lucie Inlet, this massive underwater system is the third largest barrier reef in the world. The reef's geography is a complex network of bank reefs and patch reefs, which shield the Florida Keys from the full force of the Atlantic Ocean. These coral formations have been growing for over 10,000 years, anchored atop an ancient limestone pedestal. The warm, clear waters of the Gulf Stream provide ideal conditions for coral polyps to thrive. This vibrant reef is not only a biological hotspot, home to countless marine species, but also a critical natural barrier, protecting Florida's coastline from erosion during tropical storms and shaping the region's unique geography. 12. The subterranean Lost Sea of Tennessee. Deep beneath the Appalachian foothills in Sweetwater, Tennessee, lies a remarkable geographic wonder, the Lost Sea. This underground lake is the largest in the United States and the second largest in the world. Located within Craighead Caverns, the lake sits approximately 300 feet below ground. The visible surface spans about 4 acres, but divers have explored vast underwater chambers whose full extent remains a mystery. The cave system is part of a complex limestone formation, featuring rare mineral structures known as anthodites, or cave flowers. The water remains a constant 56 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, creating a stable subterranean environment. The Lost Sea is a stunning example of how geology shapes hidden landscapes, revealing the vast amounts of water stored within the karst terrain of eastern Tennessee and showcasing one of the country's most extraordinary underground ecosystems. 11. The ancient petrified forest of Mississippi. In Flora, Mississippi, the landscape hides a remarkable remnant of a prehistoric world, the Mississippi Petrified Forest. This rare site is one of the few places in the eastern United States where massive logs have turned to stone. Around 36 million years ago, a massive flood carried giant fir and maple trees down an ancient river system into this region. Rapid burial in sandy sediment prevented decay, and over millions of years, mineral-rich groundwater replaced the organic material with silica and quartz, creating perfect stone replicas of the original trees, including bark and growth rings. The site's geography, a deeply eroded ravine, has exposed these ancient specimens, offering a window into a time when the southern climate supported vastly different vegetation. This petrified forest stands as a striking reminder of the geological forces that shape our landscapes and preserve the memory of prehistoric life. 10. The geological arch of Natural Bridge. Virginia is home to one of the world's most iconic natural landmarks, the Natural Bridge. This massive limestone arch rises 215 feet high and spans 90 feet across a deep Cedar Creek gorge. The bridge was formed from a collapsed cavern system. Long ago, Cedar Creek flowed through an underground tunnel, but over time, the cave roof weathered and collapsed, leaving only this sturdy limestone arch. The rock belongs to the Beekmantown Formation, dating back over 400 million years, making it a striking testament to geological time. So impressive was this natural marvel that Thomas Jefferson purchased the land to protect it, and George Washington reportedly carved his initials into the rock. Today, the Natural Bridge stands as a monument to slow, persistent erosion, offering a window into the forces that shaped the Appalachian landscape. 9. The protected flow of the Buffalo River. In the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas, the Buffalo National River defines the region's geography. As the first national river in the United States, it is completely undammed, flowing freely for all 135 miles of its course. This undisturbed flow allows the river to maintain its natural cycle of flooding and recession, which is crucial for the health of the surrounding ecosystem. Towering limestone bluffs, reaching heights of 500 feet, flank the river, carved over millions of years as the water cut through ancient seabeds. The region also features numerous caves, sinkholes, and springs, making the Buffalo River one of the most pristine examples of karst topography in the southern United States. Its dramatic canyon landscapes and ecological integrity make it a true natural treasure of the Ozarks. 8. The accidental beauty of Providence Canyon. In southwest Georgia, a striking geographic feature known as Providence Canyon is often called the Little Grand Canyon, but its origin is anything but ancient. This network of massive gullies reaches depths of over 150 feet, yet it was largely created by human activity. In the 19th century, settlers cleared native forests to plant cotton, and without the trees' root systems, rainwater rapidly eroded the soft, sandy soil. Over time, this human-induced erosion carved deep into the multicolored layers of the coastal plain, revealing vibrant hues of orange, red, and purple sand left by an ancient sea. Today, Providence Canyon is a state park and a vivid reminder of how quickly human activity can permanently reshape the landscape, transforming environmental damage into a stunning natural landmark. 7. The shimmering slopes of the Glass Mountains. In northwestern Oklahoma, a striking series of hills known as the Glass Mountains, or Gloss Mountains, rises abruptly from the surrounding plains. These are not true mountains, but mesas and buttes that create a dramatic, rugged landscape. The name comes from the high concentration of selenite crystals coating the slopes. When sunlight strikes at the right angle, the crystals sparkle like shattered glass, producing a shimmering effect visible for miles. The hills are composed of red Permian shale and siltstone, capped by a protective layer of white gypsum. This geography is the result of millions of years of erosion, where the hard gypsum shields the softer red rock beneath from being washed away. The Glass Mountains offer a stark, dazzling contrast to the rolling prairies typically associated with Oklahoma, showcasing the state's unique geological diversity. 6. The high-elevation canyon of Little River. In northeastern Alabama, the Little River Canyon National Preserve showcases one of the deepest and most extensive canyon systems in the eastern United States. What makes it truly remarkable is its high-elevation river. The Little River flows almost entirely along the top of Lookout Mountain before plunging into a dramatic gorge. This makes it one of the few rivers in the world that travels nearly its entire length across a mountain plateau. Over thousands of years, the river carved its way through hard sandstone, creating a gorge that reaches depths of over 600 feet, with steep cliffs and massive boulders. The canyon's unique geography produces a high-elevation microclimate, supporting several rare plant species found nowhere else on Earth. Little River Canyon is a striking example of how topography and geology combine to create a landscape both breathtaking and ecologically significant. 5. The pristine waters of the Ashepoo Basin. In South Carolina, the Ashepoo Basin is one of the largest undeveloped estuaries on the Atlantic coast of the United States. This remarkable geographic area is formed by the convergence of three rivers, which flow together into St. Helena Sound. Covering over 350,000 acres, the basin includes a diverse mosaic of habitats, from salt marshes and cypress swamps to maritime forests. Its preservation is due in part to its historical use for rice cultivation and as private hunting retreats, which prevented large-scale industrial development. The geography of the basin functions as a natural filter for coastal waters and provides a critical sanctuary for endangered species, such as the loggerhead sea turtle. The Ashepoo Basin stands as one of the most successful examples of landscape-scale conservation in the South, maintaining the authentic geography of the Lowcountry for future generations. 4. Delaware and the blue blood that saves millions of lives. Delaware, though the second smallest U.S. state, plays an outsized role in modern medicine thanks to the horseshoe crab, an ancient marine species found along its shores. The crab's blue blood contains a substance called limulus amoebocyte lysate, LEL, which is critical for detecting deadly bacterial toxins in vaccines, intravenous drugs, and medical devices. Each year, horseshoe crabs are carefully collected along Delaware Bay, and a portion of their blood is extracted under controlled conditions before the crabs are safely returned to the wild. This process ensures that millions of lives worldwide are protected from potentially fatal contamination. Delaware's unique geography, its coastal bays and estuaries, makes it one of the most important locations globally for pharmaceutical safety. Despite its small size, the state has a profound impact on global health, a fact few people realize. 3. The massive wilderness of the Atchafalaya. Louisiana is home to the Atchafalaya Basin, the largest river swamp in the United States, covering nearly 1 million acres. This geographic marvel is a vast distributary of the Mississippi River, forming a labyrinth of bayous, lakes, and marshes that act as a natural flood control system for the central United States. If left to its natural course, the Mississippi River might have shifted entirely into the Atchafalaya, bypassing New Orleans and Baton Rouge. To prevent this, the massive old river control structure regulates the flow, balancing human settlements with the river's geographic forces. The basin is also an incredibly productive ecosystem, producing more crawfish and commercial fish than any other freshwater system in the country. Its wild, watery landscape perfectly captures the essence of southern Louisiana's geography and the region's complex relationship with the Mississippi River. 2. The vast flatness of the Llano Estacado. The geography of West Texas and eastern New Mexico is dominated by the Llano Estacado, or Staked Plains, one of the largest completely flat plateaus in North America, covering roughly 37,000 square miles. The land is so level that the horizon appears perfectly straight in every direction. This massive plateau is bordered by the Caprock Escarpment, a steep cliff rising hundreds of feet above the surrounding plains. The Llano Estacado formed over millions of years from sediment washed down from the Rocky Mountains, creating its characteristic flat, elevated terrain. With few natural streams or trees to break the wind, the region experiences intense dust storms and constant breezes, making it a high-altitude prairie that represents the transition between the southern United States and the Great Plains. Its flatness and scale make it a truly unique geographic province in the American landscape. 1. The tropical chain of the Florida Keys. The southernmost tip of the United States is defined by the Florida Keys, a coral archipelago stretching over 120 miles into the Gulf of Mexico. This chain of roughly 1,700 islands is the exposed remnant of an ancient coral reef formed when sea levels were higher. The Keys are remarkably low, with most islands sitting just a few feet above sea level. They are linked by the Overseas Highway, which includes 42 bridges, including the iconic 7-Mile Bridge. This unique geography creates a tropical environment unlike anywhere else in the continental U.S. The islands serve as a gateway between the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico, surrounded by shallow turquoise waters and home to the only living coral reef in the nation. The Florida Keys mark a dramatic geographic finale for the South, combining natural beauty, tropical climate, and ecological significance. Tell us which one did you like the most, or which one surprised you the most. Leave it in the comments. Let's see how many of us picked the same fact. And if you think we missed something or want to add your own fun fact, we'd love to hear from you. Your comments help us make every video even better. Also, if you noticed any pronunciation slips here and there, thank you for your patience. We're working hard to get better with every video. And speaking of videos, there's another one on screen right now, so you can keep exploring the geography of our beautiful country. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like so we can keep learning together. See you in the next one.